Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam.
Hello students, my name is Ishan Shinolikar and today I will be talking about different types of market structures. Let us start with the objectives of this session. So in this session we are going to understand 4 different types of competitions. First is perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly and monopoly. Let us start with perfect competition. Have a detailed explanation of this area. So by definition, perfect competition is a theoretical market structure characterized by complete absence of rivalry among the individual firms such that it represents an ideal market. In this market, numerous small firms produce homogeneous or similar products and no single firm can influence market price. If we look at the characteristics of perfect competition, then there are large number of sellers and buyers. The market consists of vast number of firms and consumers. No single buyer or seller has enough market power to influence the price in the market. Each firm is called a price taker, not a price setter but a price taker, meaning it accepts the market price as given. Second point is the homogeneity of products. The products offered by different firms are identical in every aspect. We can say they are more or less similar. There are no differences in quality, features or branding or any other aspects. Because products are perfect substitutes, consumers do not prefer one firm over the other. The third characteristic is free entry and exit in the market. This means there are no barriers to entering or leaving the market. So if a new firm decides to enter, they can. An existing firm decides to leave, they can. Firms can freely enter and freely leave the market. This ensures that firms cannot earn what is known as abnormal profits in the long run, as new firms will enter the market easily, establish themselves and share the profit, whereas if someone is making loss, they will leave the market. So in the long run, they cannot make supernormal profits and normal profits are made. The fourth aspect is perfect information. All market participants, the buyers and the sellers, have full and complete knowledge of the prices and products available in the market. There is no information asymmetry, ensuring that all firms operate under the same conditions and no one has an undue advantage. The fifth characteristic is price takers. That is what the firms are referred to. Firms in a perfectly competitive market cannot set their own prices. They don't have that liberty. The price is determined by overall supply and demand in the market. Each firm can sell as much as it wants as the market price is set, and at that market price they can decide the amount that they want to sell, but no one can influence this price by its own level of production. Sixth is no government intervention. So the market operates without any government intervention, such as policy measures like taxes, subsidies or regulations that could affect the equilibrium price. We have already seen there are price floors, price ceilings as regulation, but they do not exist in this case. So let's see how does a perfect competition work. So if we look at the supply and demand, then the market price is determined by the intersection of the overall supply and demand curves. Individual firms adjust their production levels based on the market price to maximize their profits. Considering this aspect of profit maximization, firms aim to produce the quantity of output where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. That's how the quantity is decided, which is the market price in perfect competition. So in this competition, price is equal to marginal cost. In the short run, firms can earn supernormal profits, that is a very high amount of profits, or they can also incur losses. However, in the long run, the entry and exit of firms ensure that only normal profits are earned. That is, if there are supernormal profits, new firms come in and the profit gets shared. If there are losses, few firms exit. Long run equilibrium tells us that in the long run, how the equilibrium looks. Firms enter the market if existing firms are earning supernormal profits, and thus they eat away the excess profit. So this way normal profits are maintained. Conversely, if firms are making losses, some will exit the market, reducing supply and increasing the price until losses are eliminated. What are the advantages of this kind of market structure? So first is allocative efficiency. Resources are allocated in the most efficient manner, where the price of the product equals marginal cost of the production. This means that the goods produced are those goods that are most desired by the consumers. Second is productive efficiency. Firms produce at the lowest point, that is on their average cost curve, whichever is the lowest point, that is their production level. This ensures that goods are produced at the lowest possible cost. Third is consumer sovereignty. Consumers have a wide choice of products at the lowest possible prices. Their preferences directly influence what is produced. Fourth is no economic profits in the long run. So as we have discussed this, firms only earn normal profits in the long run, ensuring no firm has an unfair advantage over others. This is because of free entry and exit. Let us look at the disadvantages of perfect competition. First is unrealistic assumptions. The conditions required for perfect competition are rarely found in real world markets. Homogeneous products and perfect information are difficult to achieve. Next is lack of innovation. With firms only earning normal profits in the long run, there is little incentive or motivation for innovation or investment in research and development. Next is limited economies of scale. Because firms are typically small in size, they don't have a lot of market share, they may not benefit from economies of scale, which larger firms in less competitive market might achieve. Then there is no scope for branding or differentiation. The assumption of homogeneous products means that there is no opportunity for the firms to differentiate their products based on their brand loyalty. Let us look at examples of perfect competition. While perfect competition is largely theoretical, some markets approximate its conditions. Agricultural markets, for example, such as markets for products like wheat, rice, corn, often have many small producers offering virtually identical products. Stock markets. The buying and selling of stocks where numerous buyers and sellers interact is a highly transparent environment which can resemble to perfect competition. So if we conclude this part, then we can say that perfect competition serves as a benchmark for analyzing real world markets. It provides a clear framework to understand how competitive forces drive efficiency and consumer welfare. However, the assumption of perfect competition are rarely met and they are fully seen in practice, making it an idealized model rather than description of an actual market. Nonetheless, studying a perfectly competitive market helps economists and businesses to understand the benefit of competition and the importance of minimizing barriers to entry and ensuring transparent market information. Let us now move to the second part of this session, that is understanding monopolistic competition. This is a market structure that combines elements of both monopoly and perfect competition. In this type of market, there are again many sellers offering products, but these products are differentiated products that may be similar but not identical as seen in perfect competition. This differentiation can be based on branding, unlike perfect competition. Further, it can also be based on quality, features, any other factors that make each product somewhat unique in the eyes of consumers. Let us look at a detailed breakdown of this market structure. So, looking at the characteristics of monopolistic competition, first we have many sellers. There are numerous firms competing in the market, each producing slightly different version of the product. Products further are differentiated through branding, packaging, quality, design or other features as well. This allows firms to have some kind of control over pricing and gives them a degree of market power. Easily enter or exit. Firms here as well can easily enter or exit the market compared to monopoly or oligopoly, which we will see later. However, barriers to entry may exist, such as brand loyalty, economies of scale or patents. Firms compete on factors other than price, such as advertising, product design, customer service and brand image. This type of competition is crucial in monopolistic competition to attract and retain customers. Moving on to the next characteristic, that is partial control over price. So while firms in monopolistic competition have some control over their prices due to product differentiation, they are still price takers to some extent. Customers can choose among different products based on their preferences and willingness to pay. Consumers may not have perfect information about all products in the market, leading to brand loyalty and reliance on advertising and marketing to influence purchasing decisions. Each firm makes independent decisions regarding pricing, production, and marketing strategies. There is no coordination or collusion possible among the firms as seen in other markets. Let us look at examples of monopolist competition. So first example could be fast food restaurants. Chains like McDonald's, Burger King and Wendy's offer similar products but differentiate through branding, menu options and dining experience. Next could be clothing brands. Apparel companies like Nike, Adidas and Under Armour produce sportswear with unique design, logos and marketing campaigns to appeal different consumer segments. Third market could be the market for electronic manufacturers. So companies like Apple, Samsung and Sony compete in the electronics market by offering products which have distinct features, style and user interfaces. If we consider the automobile industry, then car manufacturers produce vehicles with varying designs, features and performance levels, targeting different consumer preferences. So let us look at the benefits of this competition. The benefits say increased consumer choice and variety. This would also encourage innovation and product development to lure more customers. It fosters competition that can lead to improved quality and customer service. Now let us understand some challenges. So there is a potential for excessive advertising and marketing costs. So the resources might be exhausted in a wrong direction. Then there is a risk of market saturation with similar products. And there is difficulty in maintaining long-term profitability due to price pressures. So overall, monopolistic competition strikes a balance between competition and product differentiation, offering benefits in terms of consumer choice and innovation while posing challenges related to market saturation and competitive pressures. So that ends monopolistic competition. Now let's move to oligopoly. This is a market structure characterized by small number of large firms dominating the entire industry. These firms have significant market power, often leading to interdependence in their decision-making processes. Let us look at a detailed explanation. If you look at the characteristics of oligopoly, then there are few large firms. So in this structure, there are only a few dominant firms that control substantial portion of the market. These firms are relatively large in size compared to other market participants. The second aspect is interdependence. One of the defining features of oligopoly is the interdependence among other firms. The actions and decisions of one firm directly impact the actions and decisions of another. Third is barriers to entry. So oligopolistic industries have often high barriers to entry, which can include significant capital requirements, economies of scale, technology barriers, and government regulations as well. These barriers restrict the new firms from entering the market, and the existing firms can reinforce market dominance over existing players. Fourth is product differentiation. While some oligopolistic industries may feature homogeneous or identical products, many oligopolies involve differentiated products. Firms engage in product differentiation through branding, features, quality, and marketing strategies to gain a competitive edge. Oligopolistic firms often compete through a non-price competition as well. For example, advertising, product innovation, customer service, and branding. This competition focuses on creating perceived value and loyalty among customers rather than solely on price adjustments. Oligopolies may exhibit price rigidity, where prices remain relatively stable over time periods despite changes in demand or production costs. This stability often results from firms' reluctance to initiate price changes that could trigger competitive responses as there is interdependence. So if we look at the types of oligopolies, then first we have pure oligopoly, where firms offer identical or homogeneous products leading to intense price competition. For example, steel industry or the cement industry in some regions have such characteristics. Next is differentiated oligopoly. Here firms are differentiated based on the differentiation of products, leading to competition based on product features, branding, and marketing. For example, automobile industry, as we have seen, or the smartphone market. So if we look at examples of oligopoly in general, then we have automobile industry. As we have seen, there are different cars like Toyota, General Motors, Volkswagen operate in an oligopolistic market, competing through product differentiation, technological innovation, or marketing strategies. Next could be soft drink industries. So many soft drink brands such as Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, etc. dominate the soft drink market globally, with their brands competing for market share through advertising, promotions, and again new product launches. We can also consider airline industry in this kind of a market structure, as major airlines, let's say in the US, such as Delta, United, and so on, operate in this kind of a market structure, competing for passengers through route networks, frequent flyer programs, or any other services. If we look at telecommunication industries, then such companies anywhere in the world form an oligopoly in the telecommunication sector, offering a range of services and competing for customers through network coverage, pricing plans, or any other bundled services. So if you look at the benefits of oligopoly, they include economies of scale and scope leading to efficiency in production, innovation and technological advancements driven by competitive pressures, and potential for strategic collaborations and partnerships among industry players. If we look at the challenges, they include reduced competition, which may result in higher prices for consumers, limited choices and diversity in products or services, risk of collusion or anti-competitive practices among the dominant firms. Thus, oligopoly represents a complex market structure where a few powerful firms would significantly influence the market, and this would lead to strategic interactions between themselves which can also lead to product differentiation in order to lure more customers and competitive strategies. Let us move to the last point of this session, that is monopoly. So a monopoly is a market structure in which a single seller or producer controls the entire market for a particular product or service. Let's look at detailed explanation of monopoly. So if we look at the characteristics of monopoly, then there is a single seller. In monopoly, there is only one seller or the producer in a given market with no close substitutes for its product or service. This gives monopolists significant control, or we can say all the control in a way over price and market behavior as well. Unique products or services that are not easily replicable or substituted by competitors. This uniqueness enhances monopolists' market power. Monopolies are characterized by high barriers to entry, which prevent or limit entry of new firms into the market, else it would not remain monopoly. Mono means one. Barriers can include policies such as patents, licenses, economies of scale, control over essential resources, high initial investment, and government regulations too. Price maker. Unlike in competitive markets where prices are determined by supply and demand, a monopolist acts as a price maker, not as a price taker. The monopolist has the power to set prices independently considering its production costs and profit objectives. Monopolies typically aim to maximize profits by setting their prices where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. This often results in higher prices for consumers compared to competitive markets. No close substitutes are present in these markets. Consumers have limited or no alternatives whatsoever in this particular market structure. So the monopolist controls significant market share and determines market outcomes. If we look at the types of monopolies, then first we have natural monopoly. It occurs when one firm can serve the entire market at a lower cost than multiple firms due to economies of scale. Utilities like water, electricity, gas, etc. exhibit natural monopoly characteristics. Second would be legal monopoly. It arises from government regulations or patents that grant exclusive rights to a firm to produce and sell a particular product or service. Pharmaceutical companies holding patents of life-saving drugs are examples of legal monopolies. Third could be technological monopoly. This results from owning or controlling proprietary technology or intellectual property that prevents competitors from entering the market. Tech companies with patented inventions often have technological monopolies. If we look at the examples of monopoly, then we can say Microsoft is a case where in the 1990s Microsoft held a monopoly in the operating systems market with its Windows operating system dominating the personal computer industry. Now the case is different. Another example is De Beers. So De Beers historically held monopoly in the diamond industry, controlling majority of diamond production and distribution worldwide. Then we can also have local utilities, as we saw. Many local utilities such as electricity or water providers operate as natural monopolies due to high infrastructure cost and economies of scale leading to limited competition. Then patent drugs. Pharmaceutical companies that hold patents on life-saving drugs can operate as legal monopolies, as we have seen, allowing them exclusive rights to produce and sell the drug. So let us look at the pros and cons of monopoly. So the pros would include potential for economies of scale and efficient resource allocation, incentive for innovation and investment in research and development, and ability to stabilize prices in volatile markets. Whereas the cons include reduced consumer choice and higher prices due to lack of competition. Potential for abuse of market power such as price gouging or anti-competitive practices. Less incentive for quality improvement or customer satisfaction in absence of competition. So monopolies play a significant role in shaping industries and economies, but also raise concerns about market fairness, consumer welfare, and competition. Measures and antitrust laws are often implemented to address the potential drawbacks of monopoly power. Now let us summarize this whole session. Understanding different market structures in economics is crucial, particularly for business administration students, for several reasons. First is decision making. Business managers must make strategic decisions about pricing, marketing, and resource allocation. Knowledge of market structures helps them to assess market conditions, competitive levels, and this can have an impact on decisions on market outcomes. Businesses operate in diverse markets, ranging from perfectly competitive to monopolistic. Understanding market structures help analyze competitive forces, entry barriers, and differentiation tactics employed by competitors. Different market structures affect firms' ability to maximize profits. For example, monopolies can set prices independently, while firms in competitive markets must accept prevailing market prices. Knowing these dynamics guides the profit optimization strategies. Market structures also influence the easy entry and exit of firms. Barriers to entry such as patents, economies of scale, government regulations impact business strategies regarding market entry, expansion, or diversification. Market structures influence consumer behavior as well, shaping their preferences and purchasing decisions. Businesses must understand consumer responses to pricing, product differentiation, and advertising strategies in various market contexts. Next is resource allocation. So resource allocation is crucial for business and efficiency. Different market structures require distinct resource allocation strategies such as investment in technology or competitive advantage, or focusing on cost efficiency in highly competitive market. Businesses must comply with antitrust laws, competition policies, and regulatory frameworks that vary across market structures. Understanding these regulations help businesses to operate ethically and avoid legal implications. Market structures influence innovation, incentives, and growth opportunities. Monopolies have greater resources for research and development, while competitive markets have lesser resources for innovation through rivalry and market pressures. So next point is risk management. Different market structures pose varying levels of risk and uncertainty. Businesses need strategies to mitigate risks associated with the market fluctuations, competitive pressures, technological changes, and regulatory challenges. Market structures analysis is integral to strategic planning. It helps businesses identify market opportunities, assess competitive threats, devise market entry or expansion strategies, and adapt to changing market dynamics. Overall, understanding market structures equips business administration students with essential analytical tools, strategic insights, and decision-making capabilities vital for navigating complex business environments, achieving competitive advantage, and fostering sustainable growth. I hope you understood and enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.